What's the deal, my people? You know it is the Don Tony Teflon. I am back at you, another House of the Dragon. We're gonna be talking about House of the Dragon, and listen, man, listen. I know the title may shock people. Saying Ormund it's like Jaime Lannister. He's like Ned Stark. He is combination of both of them, and I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna explain to you exactly why that's the case. A lot of people may not have caught things, and you may not see it that way. But when we're done with this live stream, you have the right to challenge me or say I'm wrong or whatever it is. You know what I mean? I am here for all of that smoke and everything else. And I appreciate all y'all just jumping on here, rocking with me. Make sure you hit that thumbs up for your boy. You know what I mean? Truly appreciate it. But as always, I gotta show y'all some love. And and I do things for y'all. I do things. And we got a special guest in the building rocking with me right now. Special guest rocking with me. What's going on, Robin? How are you? Rocking with me right now. And I'm even bring him on right now. You have not seen him in a while, but we call him Kaiser Soze. He's the one and only Bridge 4.
Oh Lord. Well, Philon Magulis, everybody. What's happening?
What's going on, Bridge, man? How you been, man?
I'm doing well. Life's great. I've been working on my car and reading a lot of stuff. Obviously, Silchast Ruin, that's a nod to pretty much my favorite series, Malazan Book of the Fallen. But yeah, I'm excited to hear your thoughts about one of the most honorable, or one of the characters who knows the most about honor in this story, and then that other guy, Ned Stark.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I know Jamie's your guy, and I understand why he's your guy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that and everything, But, we're dealing with Ormund Hightower. I see the similarities between both of those people. All of them. I think he's a combination of all of them. And I think that some people may have slipped their mind, but that's what they're trying to present in the show. And give this guy like a duality role, and that's his thing. I think he's a lot of Ned Stark, and I think he's a lot of Jaime Lannister, especially in this show. And I think he has the nicest looking sword out of everybody in the show. I mean, his sword is amazing.
He has a Valyrian sword, Vigilance or something?
Yeah, Vigilance. Yeah. He's got Vigilance.
It's so
and they made it look so good in the show. Like the pummel and everything else is just the best, without a shadow of a doubt. It's no doubt about it. The best going on here. What up to She Does the Most up in here? What's going on? My brother from another mother. Mom is in the building. Tamika's Den is up in here. I said what up to Robin. Let's say what up to Robin once again. She deserves it. Sonic, your boy, is in here. He's like, Bridge is alive. Hey, Bridge is alive. Sonic, your boy. You know what I mean? You got RJ. She says, now we got to know why he is called Soze. So
look at that avatar.
It's like this. So me, Bridge, and Phil, our podcast is called The Usual Suspects, and Bridge is the Soze, Kaiser Soze of The Usual Suspects.
I still haven't seen that. It's a movie, right? Not a show. It's a movie, right?
Yeah. he's that and everything else. But no, great, glad you're here. Happy to have you and stuff and everything. Let's go through some major points about the characters we're comparing him to. So, Ned Stark, if you had to say who is Ned Stark, what makes him the character is, what would you say?
So it's funny, I did joke about him and the honor thing in the beginning. Ultimately, if you were to boil down Ned to one thing, it's the word honor. Now, I disagree with his interpretation of that at times, but that is who he is. He is loyal as
Yeah. Is he as honorable as he claims to be, though?
I feel like you're going to say no. Like, in my opinion, he is. Like, I think a lot of what he does is not what I would consider honorable, but he is following a path of what he thinks is honorable. Like, if you go back to when he's imprisoned in the beginning of book 1, or excuse me, at the end of book 1 and the season 1, and Varys goes up to his cell 2 different times, and he's like, Ned, you have to make a deal here. They've got your daughters. And he's just so stuck on like, no, Joffrey's not the rightful king. Like, dude, wake up, man, your daughters. So it's almost in that situation, he's putting honor in the quote unquote right thing to do above his family. And that's honorable in a way. But like, for me, like, I've got my family first, and then there's the other stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't like they could kill someone. I'd probably still have their back.
Well, even when we look at that honorable situation, that's the so-called honorable Ned Stark does. I mean, Rob Baratheon named Joffrey as the king, and he crossed it out.
Touche.
If you're gonna go, he's that honorable. His this is what he wanted, right? He wanted his best friend, wanted his son, who he believed was his son at the time. But just because you don't have blood doesn't make that person not your son. He raised Joffrey,
Great point.
right? He raised Joffrey his whole life. So to him, even if he knew it wasn't his son, he probably would have killed him, Robert, because that's who Robert was. But in the end, he is his son. And that's who he wanted. And Ned, the honorable guy, went there and crossed out the will, crossed it out, and put, until my heir is found in there. So to me, that's not a lot of honor right there that he had right there. Because when the chips were down, his best friend asked him to do something. He didn't do it.
That's a really good point. But to play devil's advocate, and I don't even know where I stand yet on this, it's like what you said about, like if you adopt someone, like obviously he thought that was his son, but even if you adopt someone, that is your child, right? And to go to a parent who's adopted a kid and say that's not your kid, like that's a huge insult, right? That's from our perspective. We think of Joffrey as his son regardless. I mean, he quote unquote raised him, right? He wasn't a very good father, but yes, you're right. He was his son. Ned definitely knew that Robert intended for Joffrey to be the heir when he was speaking to him that way. But the thing is, Ned lives in a world where so many of those dum-dums think of like blood, like Jon Snow. He's a quote unquote bastard. Like he wouldn't even be like he's not Ned Stark's son. But even if he was half Ned Stark's son, he doesn't have like a really right to Ned's seat because he's half. Like you know what I mean? They live in a world where they view things differently. So in a way, Ned kind of like he really did his friend dirty there. But I guess it's his friend's younger brother. So getting him. Why am I blanking out on your favorite character?
Stannis
Baratheon. I was about to say Stephen Baratheon, the father. So but Stannis, like to Ned, Stannis was like the more honorable person because it sort of fits those laws of that world. They're dumb in my opinion, though.
Yeah, but when we look at, when Robert was on his deathbed, what did he say to Joffrey? I should have been there for you. I could have been there better for you. I should have been a better dad to you, right? He said those words to him, so he blamed himself, and he knew that he was a bad, shitty dad. And he said, I should have been, because when you're in your deathbed, that's when the truth comes out, right? When you know you're about to die. And that's when you try to make amends. And he's saying, I should have been there for you. I should have did better by you. You know what I mean? He should have done that. And Joffrey probably wouldn't have been who he was if he was able to do that. Instead, he became more Lannister because his mom doted on him and Jaime doted on him and stuff. So he became more Lannister than Baratheon. And we see this with Ormund, like Hightower, right? When we see him and Rhaenyra's son, who's been raised at Hightown with him.
Daring?
Yes, that he's more Hightower, right? He's more Hightower because he wasn't around the Targaryens. He wasn't with them. So he's more of them. He feels like he's more a part of their lineage more than the Targaryen lineage that's inside of his blood. And I think it's the same situation here. But Robert didn't do a good enough job because he was out whoring and drinking and just partying all the time, which I don't blame him. Listen, I don't blame him. But sometimes you got to grow out of shit. And I think that was the biggest problem with Robert Baratheon, that he just doesn't know how to grow up, that he just stayed in the hustle too long. You know what I mean? Like, how much partying can you do, brother? You know what I mean? I understand you can fuck every chick in the Seven Kingdoms you want, but sometimes you got to just put it to rest. At some point, you got to grow up, and Robert never grew up. And I think that was Robert's biggest problem. So that's dealing with Ned. All right, now let's deal with Jaime. What would be the biggest characteristics, we'll say, if you had to pick something about Jaime Lannister, would be how you would describe Jaime?
What's funny is that I feel like I have a different answer versus what I think of Jaime versus what he thinks of himself. Because he's literally said, like, when he lost his hand, like, I am the hand. I am that sword. I think he said something like that. So Jaime, in his mind, thinks of himself as a fighter, as the fighter. I don't know. I view Jaime as one of the most. So there's a story I read called the First Law Trilogy. This guy Logan, and he always says a line. He always says, "You got to be realistic." I feel like that's Jaime. There's a lot of situations like when he's in that pen with Catelyn Stark, and he's listing like, "Well, what happens when your father wants you to kill the king?" And and he starts listing out these things. The whole concept of honor gets very conflicted when you're dealing with families and other loyalties to the houses, to the king, yada yada. So in my head, like, even though Jaime would think of himself primarily as a fighter, I view him as one of the, I know you're gonna hate me saying this. I view him as one of the most honorable people to the Seven Kingdoms in the story.
How so do you explain this,
So
Jamie?
I mean,
It's
he
true the
saved.
Seven Kingdoms, not his family.
So there's say that again. What was the question?
His honor is more to the Seven Kingdoms and not his family. You're saying?
Oh yeah, I mean, it does come out that ultimately family first, right? But at the same time, again, I feel like that's more of who Jamie thinks of himself as family first. Yeah, you look at what he does, and it's like he wanted to be Kingsguard so bad. And then he gets to be Kingsguard and he swears all these oaths. I always go back to that one scene where Sir Donald or someone was at the door with him and he hears the Mad King Raping his wife, and she's screaming, you know what I mean? She doesn't want to part. Yeah, they're married, but she doesn't want to be doing that. And then Jamie's like 18 at the time, and he looks at him like, yo, aren't we supposed we were sworn to protect her? And the guy looks at him, the other Kingsguard, and goes, yeah, but not from him. So like that was one of the lines I really love about him. But ultimately, there's that great line about Jamie. What does he say? He says something along the lines of like, I'm loved for like my worst crime and hated for my best act. Now, what he's referring to is that when Tyrion was with Tysha, Tywin said that Tysha was a whore. Tysha actually fell in love with Tyrion, but Tywin said she was a whore. Tyrion, and then Tywin made his whole barracks or whatever. The men sleep with her in front of Tyrion, and Tyrion. So Tyrion, like the whole story was that Jamie was part of a plot to pay this girl to sleep with Tyrion, and Tyrion loved him for that, for just being the big brother that like hooked him up. So he's loved for a lie. Oh, that's what it was, not love for a crime. He was loved for a lie, but he's hated for like the best thing. I forget the exact words, like his most noble act, and that's killing the Mad King. Everyone calls him the Kingslayer, but he saved potentially 500,000 people because that guy was about to blow up the city. And he killed his king, which goes against his code. He always wanted to be the Kingsguard. He was, and he had to kill the king, and he did it. Now, you can make the argument, yeah, his father's coming into the city. He did it for his family. But and I'm sure there are a lot of reasons going on in his head and why he did that. But at the end of the day, what was the catalyst? Why did he kill the Mad King? I think it's because the Mad King was about to blow up the city.
And listen, I think one of your favorite lines and your favorite parts of the show of Game of Thrones is Brienne when he's having the fever dream and his hands cut off and he passes out and she says, help the Kingslayer, and he says, my name is Jamie.
Jamie. Oh,
I know you
heart, like man. It breaks my heart. Jamie.
All right. So everything is complicated, right? There's no right or wrong in the situation. If he would have kept his vows, most likely all the Kingdom Landing gets blown up.
Yeah.
He doesn't keep his vows. He saves him, but then he gets marked as the Kingslayer, right? So what's more important to you at that point? Is it the people or your name that you're running with, right? So there's certain people you have to do things, and he was willing to take on the Kingslayer moniker in order to save the people. He knew he was going to get looked down upon, but maybe he thought he was going to be triumphant as a hero. Maybe he thought, people would know what happened, but he doesn't tell anybody about what the Mad King's plan was. He doesn't say a lot. This is Brienne. He tells Brienne, it's like the first time he got it off his chest. He kept all that in. I don't know why he would keep that in. Why wouldn't he just say that?
It is weird because when because I have conflicting emotions about this. George is such a punk.
But also, so like, too, before you go.
Yeah.
So Ned Stark did say after he killed the king, he sat his ass on an iron throne across his leg. Right, there's a little cocky there.
You see, that's what I was about to get at. I'm like, on the one hand, like I want to feel for him because what he did is so noble, in my opinion. And then Ned Stark comes in the room and disses him, so I want to like feel for Jamie, but at the same time, bro, like you went up on the throne, and this is not the throne from the show. This is some massive, huge thing that you got to climb up in the books. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're taking a little trip to get up there, but at the same time, I guess to play devil's advocate against my devil's advocate, like he is like that's part of why I love Jamie. He's like he's funny, like he's a punk. You know what I mean? He messes with his dudes, whatever. Now Ned's not his dude, but like going up there to him might have just been kind of funny. Like I'm gonna go up there, like see what this guy says.
And just sit there and just chill, and Ned basically told him, get your ass off the throne. He's supposed to be up there. In the end, if he really wanted to be, he probably could have. I mean, his dad came in there with his army and stuff. I mean,
that's true.
Maybe he could have said, I mean, he would have had what would have happened? I mean, he was going to fight Ned, and he would have beat Ned if he fought Ned. As Robert would have fought him, I think he would have lost to Robert at that time. But
Well, Robert was injured.
Yeah, Robert was injured. So, but it was Robert who the realm was behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though they said if Ned wanted the throne, he could have claimed it there. You know what I mean? The realm was behind more of them than the Lannisters at the time, even though the Lannisters, did come in and sack the city and everything else. But the realm was still behind those two more than the Lannisters. So I think they would have it would have been a war, and probably they would have lost the Lannisters at that time. So you had to relinquish the throne. But I think Ned could have took it if he really wanted it. If Ned would have said, I'm the king of the 7 kingdoms, you think Robert, I don't know if Robert would have went along with that. You think Robert would have went along with it if Ned said, fuck it, I'm taking the throne, it's mine?
It's we can speculate on it, right? But just knowing the dynamic between the two of them, it's like that's never gonna happen because of who Ned is, who Robert is to Ned. You know what I mean? But let's hypothetically say Ned, like he pulled, what do you call it, pulling a heel, and he took the throne. How is it? It's interesting because at the same time, like Robert wasn't just his boy and his best friend and basically a brother. He was in love with Ned's sister. You know what I mean? So it's real complicated. Like for them two to go to bat would be wild. But yeah, it's hard to speculate just because I can't see Ned doing that to Robert.
And Robert didn't do the rebellion for Robert to take the throne. Like that wasn't the rebellion's cause, wasn't for them to take the throne. It was just to save their own lives because they were going to get killed. Basically, they pulled what John Gotti pulled on Big Paul, because Big Paul, who was the boss, was going to kill John Gotti.
Okay.
John Gotti got to him first, and then John Gotti took over from it. But Big Paul was going to put the hit on John Gotti, so John had no choice but to get rid of Big Paul. You're not supposed to kill the boss, but he did it to save his own life. And then he ascended and took over the Gambino crime family. So basically, it was the same position that Robert and Ned would put in. The Mad King was going to kill them, so they had no choice but to go against him and basically take him off those, either him or them. And they said, "Fuck it, we're not giving ourselves up," and everything else. But the rallying cry for that whole situation was Ned's father and brother. I mean, that's what got everybody all up in arms and everything. So for that reason, I think Ned would have had a good claim to the throne, because since the war was basically started because his brother and them were killed and stuff. And that's what got everyone to say the Mad King's crazy. He killed this guy and killed his son. Blah. So I think Ned would have had a legitimate claim if he really wanted the throne at that time.
Yeah, I mean, to layer on to what you're saying is also like the heir to the throne, Rhaegar, allegedly like kidnapped Lyanna. On top of that, I forget where it was. I don't know if it's in like the World of Ice and Fire, Fire and Blood, or if it's probably in the prose somewhere. And I forget who says it though. But somewhere along the lines, I remember reading that someone said something along the lines of, it really should have been called like Jon Arryn's Rebellion, because he's the one that brought everyone together. But then it became known as Robert's Rebellion because he's such a badass. You know what I mean? So that kind of
he took the throne.
Exactly.
So his name got put on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think if Ned took the throne, it would have been Ned's Rebellion.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I guess what I was getting at though is like when you say like, could Ned have taken the seat? It's like you were saying, it wasn't like Robert's Rebellion from the start. It was Robert's Rebellion named after the fact, right? I don't know if they were saying Robert's Rebellion during the events. It was just a war.
Yeah.
But like if you were to say who was a leader of it during the war, like some people may have argued, again, take this with a grain of salt, but I do remember someone saying it really should have been called like Jon Arryn's Rebellion, which sort of implies that if they're right, whoever said this, that he was the mastermind behind it all, getting everyone together, which kind of makes sense. I mean, he did foster Ned and Robert. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and he married Liza. Like he really unified the Riverlands.
Aaron, he could have took the throne, and Ned they could have just gave the throne up to him, and no one would have cared. It would have been, they would have been sitting there. Gelato wants to know, how can you guys explain to me how Daron can ride a dragon if he's not a Targaryen? Thank you for the show. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the question. Daron is a Targaryen.
Yeah, I was gonna say two things. First off,
yeah, go ahead.
He's a Targaryen. I mean, secondly, I know this is very controversial because they're a show versus book, and even book readers will disagree with me. Just knowing who George R. R. Martin is, I do not believe that Targaryens are special and they're the only ones that can ride dragons. Personally, I believe that the main reason that they're the only ones that we see ride dragons is correlation versus causation. They're the ones that have the dragon eggs, and that's why they freak out whenever dragon eggs go missing. So
I
I mean,
agree.
do you agree with that? Even in the
I
books,
agree
or
with
even
you
in
100%. I think
yeah,
anyone
it's
who raises an animal from birth can, that animal is going to be obedient to him. I mean, and I think that's something that the show got wrong by taking Nettles out of the show,
yeah,
because Nettle proves this,
100%.
right? Her proof is that anyone can ride a dragon if the dragon likes you, and the dragon's going to like you if you raise it from birth.
But George R. R. Martin, he's so good and he's so sneaky, that bastard. Because even he has these little rumors that maybe Nettles is a dragon seed, effectively. So then it's like, you can still buy into the fact that you have to have dragon blood, Targaryen blood, Valyrian blood to ride a dragon. But yeah, I just knowing who George R. R. Martin is and the points he's trying to convey in these books, I personally just don't think he would make this like light-skinned, purple-eyed race special compared to everyone else in the world. I just don't think that he would do that. Now, with that said, it's fantasy, so it's definitely possible. And if you believe that, I'm not going to argue you. Like, you're totally entitled to that belief. Personally, I just don't believe Targaryens are special.
They're saying, who is Daeron's dad? Daeron's dad is the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, the king who passed away, Viserys, is his father. Alicent is his mother. He was just raised and fostered in Hightown. I keep saying Highgarden. He was just raised over there, and that's why he wasn't around and stuff. And that's why he was just raised over there. But yeah, he's there. She's his kid, and he is a rightfully Targaryen king. That's why in this episode you see that he has the right to sit the Iron Throne, and Ormond wants him on the Iron Throne, but the right he has is because of his bloodline. But he's not raised as a Targaryen, so it would basically be people saying he thought it was I thought it was Cole's son. No, it's not Kristen Cole's son.
Oh.
He's not
I don't know if Cole has sons, or at least any sons he knows about.
Cole has none at all. So he would have the bloodline to be on the throne. That's what Ormond is going with when he's trying to get him there. He has the bloodline to be on the throne, but he has a temperament of his people, and he could rule through him. So basically, as I say, he's Jaime, he's Tywin, and he's Ned. He's wrapped up in one. He wants to rule through him because the kid doesn't have the backbone. He could just be what Tywin was when Tywin was with Joffrey or anything. He's the real power, and that's what he's trying to be here. And we have proof of this. So let's bring up some of these pictures here, so I can prove exactly what I'm saying here and why I feel this way. Which one would it be to get those? This StreamYard thing, they give you so many options now. All right, this one right here. All right, so when we see him and start off in this episode, what's he sitting in? He's sitting in the bathtub. That's the first time we see him in this episode. He's in the bathtub. As we talked about a little bit earlier, Jaime Lannister's big scene was him in the bathtub, sitting in the bathtub, hanging out in the bathtub. And there's a reason why they put him in the bathtub like that. Now, also, it's to show dominance over the people in Tumbleton, because he's in Tumbleton at this time. And he has just written there. Again, he's pulled a Robert Baratheon type situation, right? Robert Baratheon, the Battle of the Bells, was being chased down. He goes inside the town. They can't find him, but the people are hiding him from house to house while they keep going there. He's doing the same thing. He's going to stay inside the town amongst the people in this town while he's up in there. And while he's in there doing this, they can't just come and burn the town down to the ground because they don't want to kill their own people. So he's doing basically what Robert did, but he's doing it against the people's will who want to do it. And Robert did it on their will. Like they wanted him to do it. We see him stand up right here, and he's standing up, and when he sits there, so what is this to prove? He's got the Lord and the Lordess of the land there while he stands up. And it's to show this is what we call big dick energy, right? He stands up naked right in front of this guy, not to impress the woman, but it does seem like she did because she looks right at him. But it's to show this guy, my dick is bigger than yours. Literally, my dick is bigger than yours, right? And I'm going to stand right in front of you and wag it right in front of you and your wife. And that's why he stood up there, to prove that he is bigger than him. He's better than him. He's more, even though you're the Lord of this land, you mean nothing to me. I'm above you. And that's why he stands up and shows himself in this situation right here. Yeah, thank you for the support so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it, man. 100%. Right? And we see him standing there. Now, after this whole situation, while he's there, we see he gets a letter. And when he gets this letter, it's not good news in this letter. He does not like what he hears. And then that's when he goes off and he starts to assault the table. After this, we see that one of his soldiers assaulted a woman, and she's complaining to him that this happened. And then at this time, we see, what is he wearing there? As we see, he looks like Tywin Lannister here. He's got the Tywin stuff on the side of him right here, right? He's trying to impose that hand of the king situation, right? He's trying to impose that situation where he is hand, like Tywin was the hand of the king, but actually ruled the king. This is the same energy he's putting off here, and why they put him in clothes like this, because he's trying to do exactly what Tywin did. He's trying to be that same situation here, and that's why they have him dressed up in this way at this particular time. And then while he is here in this outfit, he does rule, and we see our boy sitting back here. All right, and he while he does this, he tells the guy, "Listen, I'm gonna have you gilded. I'm gonna have your hand chopped off. This is what it goes." And then he explains to Daron exactly why he had to have this done, why this happens. Now, I know I haven't gotten a lot into the Ned Stark situation, but we're going to get into it right now. Because after this whole situation goes down, we see him, and he has Daron here, and there was also somebody there who had hit one of the High Garden, so he hit the High Garden soldier, even though he did it to protect his sister from getting raped. He still put hands on the High Guard soldier, so he must be executed. And what does he say here? You must be the one who does the execution for it. I'm not going. You must be the one to do it. Now, Daron does not want to do it, but he's telling him, if you're going to be king and this is what you want, you're going to have to be the one to swing the sword. And eventually, as we see, Daron does stab the guy and kill this man and take him out. And then after he takes him out, the dragon burns the body. And after the dragon burns the body, then we see him standing in the flames. And I think that what they're trying to show here with him standing in the flames is that he hates the Targaryens, because obviously he's a face of the Seven, but he's willing to use their dragons for his own purpose. So he hates them, but he's willing to use them for his own purpose. Now, when I say the whole Ned Stark situation when dealing with this is what, and people said, oh, he made him kill them, blah, blah. Ned Stark told him straight up, if you pass sentence, you got to be the one to swing the sword, all right? He showed John, he took them to an execution when they were kids. He took them all to watch the man of Night's Watch head get chopped off. There's no difference than what this Ormund has done right now than what the big honorable Ned Stark did to his children and stuff. No difference at all. Do you feel that there's any difference, Bridge, or no?
Yeah, to be honest, as soon as you mentioned like Ormund's path there, resembling Ned's, I started thinking back to my answers, like what defines Ned? And I went with honor, or at least what he views as honor. I don't know. If it's not number one, it's up there in his top things, is accountability. That is who Ned is accountability. That's part of his code of ethics, just code of being a man. And you're right. That's a very, very Ned-like thing to do.
100%. It's a Ned-like thing. So when people look at him and they hate him, oh, he's the villain. He's no different than Jaime Lannister, Tywin Lannister, and Ned. He's all of them wrapped up in the one. And he has his faith. And his faith is right. He's right about it. He's right about the Targaryens. They are incestuous bastards. That's disgusting. That's disgusting what they do. And he's right. And only reason, as he says, that when they bring up Rhaenyra, and he goes, oh, Rhaenyra, we bent the knee to Rhaenyra because she's the queen. He goes, is she a queen or is she just a bitch with a dragon? All right, period. And that's what it really is. Is she just queen or is she a bitch with a dragon? All right, is that what makes a queen? The power makes a queen, right? That's what makes a queen, because she's a bitch with a dragon. You know what I mean? Now, listen. Should she be rightfully the queen? Of course, she should be rightfully queen. There's no doubt about it, right? Like her dad wanted her to be rule. So when we look at it that way, yes, she should rightfully be the queen of the seven kingdoms, just because that's what her dad wanted. But right now, at this time, she's only on that throne because of her dragons. It's not because of any politicking she did. It's not because the lords respect her. It's not because people want her there. It's just the dragons that have gotten her there to this point, which is the same point he says about all Targaryens. They're not better than us. They're just people with dragons, so we can't fight them. But if they didn't have the dragons, they would blow them up. And I agree with him 100%. There's nothing special about the Targaryens and anything else. It's really just the fact that they have dragons. And that's it. And if they didn't have dragons, they would have never been able to conquer the seven kingdoms or anything else like that. And that's it, because they were getting their ass kicked, the Valyrian and the Rhoynar, for years, right? Even with the dragons. And they couldn't even conquer Dorne, even with the dragons, right? So they didn't have that stuff and everything else. And that's just what it would be. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I look at it and stuff. But how do you feel about this, the Targaryens and their claim to the Iron Throne?
Yeah, I mean, somewhere in Fire and Blood, I think it's in a Jaehaerys chapter, he actually explicitly says the words that of Targaryen exceptionalism, which is a whole, don't want to get into like, yeah, I love America too, but the concept of American exceptionalism, just that idea of these people who think they're the best when the people outside don't necessarily view them the same way, right? So, and it's funny because he talks about Targaryen exceptionalism, like we don't burn, we can't get sick, and then all of a sudden the great sickness comes, or great spring sickness, whatever it's called, and Targaryens start dropping like flies. They die just like everybody else. Targaryens get burned, like some of them get burned just like everybody else. Like, no, they think there are not even all of them. Some of them think they're special. You know what's great, actually? It might have been young Rhaenyra at the beginning of season 1. One of the Targaryens is like, I mean, the reason we're powerful is because we've got the dragons. We're not actually any different than them. I think it might have been young Rhaenyra. I like that. But at the same time, who knows? She's growing up. She may think of herself as special. And many Targaryens do. Like, I'm sure Aemon probably thinks he's special because he's a Targaryen. And a lot of them have, obviously. But real quick, just a tangent. I don't know if this applies at all. I was thinking about the Ned Stark thing. It reminded me of something that really upsets me. The show is nearly perfect, especially seasons 1, like 1, 2, 3, 4. But they left out a line that I wish they didn't leave out, and it comes back when Jon has his whole scene with Daenerys in the final season, which is that at that scene, it's the second scene? Yeah, the second scene when Ned's showing the boys the execution of the guy who left Night's Watch. He looks at Bran, he says, "You know why? Like I swing the sword, like." Because he who passes the sentence should swing the sword. But in the books, that's all they say in the show, which is fine. It's cool. It's like responsibility, accountability, which I mentioned earlier. It's not necessarily even about accountability. For Ned, it's about justice, right? And because there's a line in the books, the next line, I believe, is like, and if you can't bear to do that, then maybe the person doesn't deserve to die. Meaning you should swing the sword because it's easy to just be like, all right, it'd be easier with this guy if he's dead, so I'll have someone else kill him. But if you personally can't kill him, maybe the reason you can't do it is because he doesn't deserve to die. So that ties back to the whole like Jon with Daenerys, mercy, blah, blah, blah. We need a world of mercy. But yeah, so like, as far as why he wants people to swing the sword, I think ultimately, and this might be Ned's defining characteristic, I think it's about justice. Now, I don't always think he's right with justice, but it's his view of what justice is, and he has to follow that.
You see, the problem with Ned at that particular time is because you could see in his face he believed the guy. Like he wanted to believe the guy.
Do you think so?
When the guy said, I seen the White Walkers, and he looked him in the face, I think Ned looked at him like he could tell he was telling the truth. Like he could tell, like the guy was so honest. Like the guy didn't say, "I left because of this. I left because I hate the Night's Watch. I left." He's like, "The night I seen the White Walkers. That's why I'm leaving." And you see Ned look at him, and he pauses. And then he tells him I put his head down. But I think Ned knew because he knows about the White Walkers. He knows that it seems like it's a fairy tale, but he knows the stories. Old Ned knows the stories. We'd have to say that old man told Ned these stories when he was young, when he was a young man. He knows these stories. He knows of the White Walkers. It's maybe he knows of the children of the forest. He knows of all these things to be true more than other people in the realm would know them to be true. So I think he knew that the guy was telling the truth, but he just had to go through with it at that time. He just felt like he had no choice, and he did go through it when he should have second guessed it. And we see in this season a bunch of executions, and no, even through that, right? We've seen Rob Stark do the same thing. That everyone who does the execution like that, something bad happens to him in the end. Like we've seen Rob Stark, he does the execution, right? And he hurts his hand, he drops the sword after he cuts off Karstark's head, and then he winds up losing and getting killed himself. He said, "You're going to be cursed for this, blah, blah, blah." And he does it, but he has to do it. Why? Because Ned told him he had to do it. So he did it, and then that led to his death in the end. We see Theon, he goes and does the execution when he's in there. And look what happened to Theon after he's done that execution.
Oh, Theon.
Right? Anyone who has done this and took these words from Ned Stark, that's all ended up in a bad situation after. No one has done it, and it's wound up good for him. No one has done it. And I feel that we'll see the same thing in this season because we've seen Rhaenyra do an execution this season, and she had to chop somebody's head off. And then now we see Daron being forced to do this situation. It's never gone good when it has happened this way at all. When you have executed people, it's never ended well for anybody in this show. And I don't think it's going to end well for this. Joshua says Ormond is a hypocrite, though, because he believes Targaryens are the monsters when he is literally one himself. So I disagree with this. He believes they're monsters because of his religious views, and his religious views are saying basically that they're incestuous people and makes them disgusting. And I agree with him. Incest is disgusting. I don't care if you're the royal family or you work in McDonald's or you work anywhere. Incest is disgusting.
And even if like the brother and sister are super hot.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So that's why he doesn't like them. And he believes that the only reason they rule is because of these dragons. And they don't deserve it. And that's what he's saying. It's families who have been there in Westeros for generations way before him that deserve it more. But they were able to conquer them because of these nuclear weapons that they have. And I agree with him on that. I agree with him 100%. They only bend the knee because of these dragons. You know what I mean? And if not, it would not be going down like this. But then again, we have to look at if the Song of Ice and Fire that they show in the show is canon, then the Targaryens, or they say that,
yeah, exactly.
They say that he had dreams that he had to conquer Westeros, to unite the realms, to fight the White Walkers in the end. If we believe that whole situation and everything. Josh he said, yeah, but he's still not a good guy himself. Yeah, no, he's not a good guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's a loyal guy. And he came fight for his family right off the bat. He's there to do the job. He carries the best Valyrian sword. Like if I had to buy a Valyrian steel sword bridge, I'm telling you, this would be the one.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks amazing. This fucking.
Do you know? Is it like a bastard sword, regular sword, great sword?
It's it looks kind of like a bastard sword, I would say.
Yeah, probably like a bastard.
Sword. Yeah, it looks short. It's kind of like Jon Snow, but it's just the pummel.
Really?
It's so detailed, and it's wood, and it's got like the mother in it, and she's holding like a sword. It's beautiful. Oh, it's
vigilance fighting with the mother.
You Google it, and you Google it, the Vigilance HBO. Look at that fucking sword, bro. That sword is great. People are like, I hate Ormond more than Crispy. I don't agree.
Crispy, I forgot about that.
Crispy is more worse than Ormond because Crispy. I'll put it like this: like Ormond is driven by wanting to put his heir, his nephew, on the Iron Throne because he has the blood right, but because he was raised in the faith of the Seven, he's more Hightower, so he can control him, yes, and he can rule through him, yes, but that will only last for a certain amount of time, but basically make him a good king, All right, that would say Crispy is a butthurt bitch, and because Rhaenyra would not run away with him to live a life of a pauper, right? Instead of this, he thought his dick was so good that this chick would run away and he would be a sellsword and she would just live on some bullshit because his dick was that good. That's what he felt. And when she said, "Your dick's not that good," I'm gonna be queen, motherfucker. I ain't trying to do this. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to do this. He got butthurt about it. And then that's what that motherfucker, and his whole life has been just vengeance to her to take her down because she turned his ass down. That's two different things. So I don't know why you would hate it more than Crispy. Crispy's just a butthurt bitch. He just need to get over it.
My lord.
I mean that's just the facts of the matter. And that's just facts. You know what I mean? I can't wait to see Crispy die. I can't wait to see him get the fuck out of here. Like he's terrible. He's terrible. I've never seen a more pussy whip night. I mean, maybe Sir Jorah. Maybe Sir Jorah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't even get the pussy because Jorah didn't even get the pussy.
Yeah.
And he was still like he was
pretending in Volantis.
Yeah,
with the lookalike.
Oh my! I did a video on that back in the day called Jorah's Dream. Oh my god!
Oh no!
I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick, bro. If I can find this, I did. This is one of my favorite videos of all time. Oh, can I find it? Let's see. It's called.
I'm actually watching Game of Thrones weekly with my mother right now. She's never seen it, and she loves Jorah. And yeah, it's like there's an age difference between the two, but Emilia Clarke's a beautiful young woman. Jorah's a handsome man. Like what she doesn't know is in the books, Daenerys is like 13. It's a little weirder in the books.
Oh my god, I found it. They got this whole new AI shit on YouTube that you can find these shits really fast.
AI on YouTube.
Oh yeah, for search and stuff and everything else. It's now like a straight AI thing, and it just pulls up everything really fast and stuff.
While you're looking, that scene, it's so funny knowing what the story or where the story goes. That scene on the boat with Cole and young Rhaenyra, man, I've never seen that actor perform before, but he's so good. You can hate Kristen Cole, but the actor is phenomenal. Like he's so happy when he tells her his dream. And then she just laughs in his face. Crushes him.
100%. She's just like, fuck you, you crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Really? I'm going to give up all this stuff for you?
But you're right. Like that is a huge moment in who he will be for the rest of his life. Is that scene right there?
All right, I'm gonna play this shit, Bridge, because maybe I don't think you ever see this, Bridge. This is one of the favorite videos I ever made. This is hilarious, bro. If I do say so myself, watch this.
Shit, okay.
Now let's face facts, people. This thirsty ass knight, he has no game. The game is suspect because he had to go into selling slaves to try to keep his other wife happy. Now if the man held it down in the bedroom, you wouldn't have had to go to those lengths. The fact that he did shows that this dirty bear really believes in the song, The Maiden Fair.
No escaping her. Keep coming back. Why?
You know why.
Isn't it frustrating? Wanting someone who doesn't want you back.
Of course it is.
But it shall not happen this time for Jorah Mormont, the man who spied for his own good, for his own gain on Dany. Now he believes that all of a sudden she's going to jump in the sack with him after she's been vetted by Khal Drogo. And then she let her freak flag fly when she got with Daario. And as George R. Martin said, she took it in every hole she had. So I don't think this old bear has a chance. As Daario has said, I don't know if he's man enough for the job.
Too old.
I don't think you could ride the dragon. 20 years ago, maybe.
What?
Our queen.
She's wild, you know.
Don't let her science fool you. It's hard enough for me, and I'm a young man. You. I don't think your heart could take it.
And I know exactly what the thirstiest knight in the realm was thinking at this particular time. If only I was younger. If only I was younger. If only I was younger. If only I was younger.
You swore to obey my commands for the rest of your life.
If you did that, I would make love to you right now.
Khaleesi,
Jordan.
I love you. Khaleesi,
Jordan.
I love you. Khaleesi,
Jordan.
I love you. Khaleesi, Khaleesi,
What
Khaleesi,
did you?
I love you.
Oh man.
Khaleesi. Yes, Khaleesi. Yes, Khaleesi.
It's on YouTube.
Khaleesi. Yes, Khaleesi. Yes, Khaleesi. Yes, Khaleesi.
Keep daydreaming, Jorah, because Jon Snow is right around the corner. It's the Don, Tony
That's on YouTube?
Yeah, man. I made that years ago.
Oh man. What's wild, right before you did that cut, we literally just watched that scene like last weekend or 2 weekends ago. She's like, I command you to go heal yourself, Sir Jorah Mormont, or whatever. And then, but he didn't say that in your video. Oh.
I made that video, I think, for like a Valentine's Day special. I think it's why.
Oh, I was gonna say April Fool's, but it's not April Fool's, Valentine's Day. I can see
Yeah,
that.
it was a Valentine's Day special. I made that by Jorah.
Oh, that is wild.
But yeah, Jorah is probably the thirstiest one of them all, you know. But Kristen Cole, he's willing to go into war and do all this other shit just to prevent it because she didn't fuck him. I mean, he's just as bad. I don't know. He's just as bad. It's hard for me to say who was worse when it comes to that whole situation. Peter Griffin.
I feel for Kristen, man. Back when I was younger, I had days where I got dumped and showed up with a boombox. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, "Go away! I'll call the cop." Not literally, but man, like, he's actually there's a chapter in the chapter actually alludes to Kristen Cole. There's a chapter in A Feast for Crows. Oh, they didn't have him in the show. Sir Ares Oakheart, and there's a chapter, The Spurned Suitor. Right? Is that the chapter? I think so. That's what I'm thinking of. And they actually mention Kristen Cole in that. That's the first time we heard about him. He's a spurned suitor. God, you got to get over it though. At some point, you know what I mean.
You would think at some point, especially when you've had Allison. You know, Allison's good looking.
Yeah, good point. Especially,
but what happened is this is what happened, and this is his problem, and this is what happened to him. He became a fuckboy. You know, and that's it. Like that's what she wanted to use him as, because she was like, she told him like, listen, nothing has to change. We can keep doing this. And he didn't want to take that. He's like, no, I'm not willing to do that. But he's willing to do it with Allison later on in life. He knew there was no future coming with Allison, but he's willing to take the ass when he could. So he should have just been willing to take the ass when he could. And she might have fell in love with him like she did the strong dude.
Yeah, right? That is true.
You know, she might have fell in love with him, just like she did the strong dude and everything else, you know. He just didn't. He was just hurting, but hurt the whole time and stuff, you know what I mean? If you were like, oh, at least Chrissy smashed 2 queens. Yeah, I'm saying he did. But he got hurt on it. He got hurt when she didn't want his ass no more. You know,
it's funny though, because I think back to when I'm his age, or at least his age that he's supposed to be at this point of his life in the books or whatever. It's like I'm him. I'm the same way. Like, no, I'm not being your side hustle. You know what I mean? But nowadays, like that's my ideal situation. Yeah, yeah, like hell yeah. That's all I want. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the whole.
Yeah, the side of he should have took the gig. It's all about who you side hustling for, right? If you side hustling for a queen, I'm good. It's like, yeah, you're gonna be queen. I'll do it.
That is,
you know what I mean? A billionaire chick, a multi-millionaire chick. Yeah, I'm your side hustle. I'm your side
pride.
Fuck my pride. My pride is
that's what I'm saying.
My pride is in the car I'm going to be driving while I'm fucking you. My pride my pride is in the clothes I'm going to be rocking while I'm fucking you.
But in like your 20s, even like low 30s, like that pride is just overcome.
It's hard, and I'm not saying that it's not pause on that, but I understand. But I wouldn't have started a war and tried to ruin someone, everybody up. You know what I mean? Everything. A Percy Garcia is in the chat and he's saying, "What up, Tony? What up, Bridge 4? What up to the chat? What up to everybody in here?" Hustle Bones is saying, yeah. Cole can tell his nephews how cool he was at the Christmas party as he sneaks swigs from his old flask of wild turkey. Yeah. He said, "Listen, I fuck that queen. I fuck this queen. I'm fucking old." That's what he should have been doing and living a life.
I was literally going to say those words, living the life.
Yeah, he should. That's what he should have took it as. You know what I mean? Instead, he's going to get himself killed starting the war. Josh says, "I don't get it because his broke his code anyway. So why wouldn't he just be with Rhaenyra on the side? 100%.
That's what you were saying, yeah.
100%. Just do it. Look at, because she was about. Listen, you seen what she did with Strong. She fell in love with him. She did the same thing with him, and she loved him. She loves those kids she had with him. She loves her children. She loves their kids together. She was about it, and she worked it out with Laenor. It was all worked out.
Oh, Laenor.
Laenor was all about it. Like, they figured it out. Listen, I know what you like. You know, like, we go do the political marriage, blah, blah, boom, boom. Laenor was like, cool. And that's just the way it goes, you know. We got Red Lipstick Club. Big Anna, she says, "Bridge, welcome back."
What's up, Anna?
Hey, Tony in the chat. We have missed you, Bridge, 100%. I wish Phil was here. I don't know what the fuck Phil doing. He should be here to welcome you back.
There's like a lips emoji. I've never seen that before.
No, you've been away.
I struggle with emoji. Yeah, I struggle with emojis, man.
You've been away for a little while, you know, all that stuff. Let me see. Let me send a text. If Phil was here, he'd be in the chat right now. Let me see. Let's see. We'll send it out to him just in case and everything. But no, definitely great to have you back. We had Gray Area on here last week. You had a good conversation with her. Alicia said hello to my moon and star. She said, "What up to you?" And everything else. She was looking. She was looking for you and stuff. And I was like, "I'm gonna get him. Don't worry. I'm gonna talk to him. and everything else." She's like, "Is he alive? Is everything good with him?" She's like, "Is he alive? Is everything all right?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "He's fine. Don't worry. All right. So everything is good." And everything. What up to Doc Kaiju rocking with us right now in the building, rocking with us. So you've been watching Game. We're gonna get back to this. We're gonna do a little bridge update real quick. So you've been watching Game of Thrones with your mom. How's that been going?
So we season 6, episode 5 was Hold the Door. So obviously, like every episode that ends, I can't even say that. I annoy her so much with like history and lore after every episode. I pause the show during it. To talk about stuff. I'm probably so annoying to watch the show with. But we saw season 6, episode 5, Hold the Door. We just watched season 6, episode 6. It's where Arya, it's right before she's leaving Bravo. She's ordered to kill Lady Crane. She decides, she gives her the poison, and then she smacks it out of her hand and points at the hot girl and goes, "That one, you got to watch out for that one. She wants you dead." So Arya's about to get it. If anyone hasn't ever thought about it, it's one of my favorite theories. I came up with it myself, sat on it for years, and then when I finally put it out, I found out someone else or a couple people on forums had come up with the idea like 8 years earlier. But personally, I don't believe the waif's real. I think the whole thing's dissociative personality disorder, and it's a battle Arya's having with herself, whether she's going to be no one or Arya. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. We're coming up to my brother's favorite episode. I think it's 9. The Battle of the Bastards, but like it's just too gory for my mom, so she's going to be doing this the whole time.
Yeah,
I can't wait for her to see 10 though. 10 is great. 10 opens with the Light of the Seven. Speaking of the High Towers, the Light of the Seven opening scene with the Sept, boom, and then also the big Jon Snow reveal. So I'm excited for what's coming.
Yeah, we'll get the other suspect in the building. He hit me back.
He's here.
Yeah, he'll be
no
here.
Doubt.
Yeah, so we'll have the other suspect and everything. Winter is in here saying, "So glad to see you guys back streaming. Love the content." Listen, we're the best looking people who do this.
Dude, you'll laugh at this. So like in the last couple of years, I've been working on my car.
We love you too.
So I've been replacing like, everything in my car. I'm trying to learn everything about it. So and then eventually I'll just get a newer version of that car because I've had it like 20 years, right?
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, this girl walks by the other day. She lives in the same place I live. And she's like, "Hey, how are you?" Because I've got Game of Thrones stickers, not today, on the back of my car. And she's like, "I love the stickers." And actually, there were two, her and then this other dad. He came home from work. He's wearing his nursing outfit. And he's like, "Hey," he just wanted a quick, like, "I love Game of Thrones too. Nice stickers." And I just start going off because I'm such a nerd. I just start speaking out, and you can tell they're like walking away as I'm like, "Wait, one more thing." It's so funny. Like, I don't do this anymore, but at the same time, like I am down at any minute to just nerd out.
I hear you. I hear you. Me too. I got winter is coming on my license plates, like on the bridge on
Nice.
the outside and everything else. I have those out there. And people stop me and they say, "Winter is coming." I said, "You goddamn right." You goddamn right. Especially here in New York, you know that motherfucker coming, and that's what it is and stuff, you know.
Oh,
But no,
Lord.
no, we've had a great time, and I love talking the show with you, especially and Phil and our Direwolf City people. And we definitely will be here. And glad that all y'all are here and rocking with us right now. Make sure you hit the thumbs up for your boys. We are here talking House of the Dragon. Now, listen, House of the Dragon last season ended on a little early note. How would you have rated the House of the Dragon up until what you have seen for last season and stuff, especially the way it ended?
Yeah, so to be clear to everybody, since I'm not doing videos this season, I haven't watched any of it yet, and absolutely, I plan on watching it. I love this stuff, but if I'm not doing videos, I plan on marathoning it, right? And who knows? Now that I'm speaking with Don, I might start watching the episodes.
You're gonna
Now,
watch it. You watch them. You'll be back next week. You'll caught up.
yeah, right. I'll probably have caught up already after tonight. I'll spend the next 4 or 5 hours watching. But the thing is, like, it was very clear to anyone who had read the novella that last season was a letdown. And this, don't get me wrong, a lot of people criticize it, slow, blah blah blah. I was voted most easily amused, as I always say in high school. Like, I enjoyed last season. The one thing I didn't enjoy was that they could have gone one episode further, not only for some craziness and a great ending, but for some parallel structure to season one. Or they could have gone 2 episodes further. So what I'd imagine the first 2 episodes and probably 3, 4 have been absolutely incredible. I was always just afraid. It just seemed like such a bad business decision for these people to end season 2 where they did, because there are going to be, it's probably minuscule, but there are going to be some people who don't come back for season 3, and they're missing out because the rest of this show, or let me say, the rest of this story is just sick. It's nonstop insanity, sadness, tragedy. But
Hustle Bone says Ulf is the homie asking the queen to pardon his. But listen, Ulf is very, very bold for doing that, and I can't wait for you, Bridge, to see exactly what they're doing with Ulf and what they're doing with Ulf and you, the Hammer, and to get your opinion on how they're rocking that whole situation with him and everything else. Because
what's interesting though, like, even though I've read the story so many times, yes, it's an adaptation, and there are some significant changes, like Alicent's age and whatnot, but also just characters like Ulf and Hugh the Hammer. They're just names in the book, and yeah, I know some plot points, like they're just basically bullet points of what they did during the dance from an outside and third perspective, or a couple third perspectives. But actually seeing them come to life in the show, it's cool. Like, I have quote unquote spoilers to look forward to, because this show is going to bring some new stuff to light. I'm excited, and I just love, to be honest, I love Quicksilver. I wish she was a much bigger dragon, because he's like 100 years old, 97 or 100 or something like that, 100 to 102. But Vermithor, man, Vermithor's a big boy.
Wait till you see fucking Cannibal, bro. What they did with this motherfucker.
They have the Cannibal.
Sheep steal. I mean, sheep steal.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You teased me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even Sheep Stealer, like I think we saw Sheep Stealer in season 2, and she's big, but like Sheep Stealer, if I'm not, I might be mistaken, I think she's like 70-ish around during this dance.
Yeah.
Like, she could be in my head, she was always a monstrous dragon. But actually, no, Sheep Stealer closer to 100 at this time.
Sheep Stealer, big dragon.
70 to
she a big.
What's that?
Sheep Stealer.
Is she?
Big ass dragon.
Nice. It's weird because we talk about our like favorite. Sorry, this is a little rude, crude, or whatever. Like, my favorite women in the story as a whole. And Nettles, even though she's young, whatever, but like, just as being cool, like, she was one of my girls in this story. So it's just a shame that we don't have her. Granted, Rain is cool.
Yeah,
I miss Nettles.
Again, the Nettles thing takes away from them proving that anyone can ride a dragon. It's got nothing to do with Targaryen blood. and that takes away that whole concept in there, and they strip that away, and I think that's why it hurts. They want to put the line on Damon's daughter, and they want her to be that. And I understand it taking the characters and smashing. You have to hire another actress, and this actress doesn't have anything to do in the story without this, right? So I understand doing that, but it still takes that dynamic away from it. You know what I mean? And it also takes the dynamic of Damon. You know, he actually cared about Nettles. Like he cared about it. He wanted to be with her. Like he didn't want Rhaenyra
potentially.
You know what I mean? He was laying with her because the only thing we've ever seen Damon do is be in shitty toxic relationships. We've seen him smash his wife's head open with a rock, and we see him with Rhaenyra, and that's a toxic relationship. So it's like the first time you could actually see him in a good relationship. You know what I mean? Where he actually cared about the person cared about him with no strings.
Lena was awesome, man, but he just lost her too early, or her fire went out too soon, we should say.
Yeah, I agree with that. People say Dreamfire is hibernating. So they showed Dreamfire. Dreamfire is laying there. This episode, Bridget said he's laying there. Aegon goes over to him in disguise. He hugs him and he says he's still alive. He's still alive, and then they drag him away from him and everything else. It's a whole different way they do it in the books compared to what they're showing in the show. The way he gets to him and he rides and he swims the Dragonstone and everything else and all that. I don't know, but I think that might just show him disappeared and everything. So next time they show him, he just might not be there. But I don't think they're gonna show him do the whole swim to Dragonstone or anything like that and all that situation. But if you want to say he's hibernating, that's a good word to say, that he's hibernating or just resting and getting better. Because in the books, he's awake and they're feeding him the whole time. Like they're feeding him sheep and they're feeding him stuff, keeping him alive there. And
I think you're speaking about a different dragon. Dreamfire is Olt's. Oh no, that's Silverwing. Sorry, Dreamfire is Helena's. I think you're thinking of Sunfire.
We're talking about Aegon's dragon.
Yeah, you're talking about Sunfire.
Yeah, so I think he messed with the name and everything else and all that. I think maybe that's what. Yeah, we're talking about.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, so I just went with it and messed up myself. But yeah, Sunfire we're talking about and everything else. Yeah, they're feeding him stuff and keeping him alive during that. And this, they're just like people are paying money to see a dragon and touch a dragon while he's like that. You know what I mean? So we could say he's hibernating and stuff and everything else, but they're doing it two different ways than what we've seen in the show. Phil, what's going on, man?
Not too much. Great to see you, Bridge. I'm actually surprised that so many people are wondering if the dragon was alive. It was freaking breathing. You can see the thing freaking breathe. People are like, were the dragon alive? Complete side subject, and I'm sorry to hijack here to ask you, Bridge. I know you said you only watch things if you review them, but did you watch Dunk and Egg? Did you watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms?
Oh no! It's not that I only watch them if I review them. It's just that I'm not in the time crunch to have to watch episode by episode. Okay. So yeah, of course, Dunk and Egg was awesome.
Nice, it
was incredible.
So awesome, so fucking awesome. Sorry. Okay. I wanted to fangirl on it for a second.
Yeah, I see the picture.
Go ahead, do it. Talk Dunk and Egg for a little. Y'all could do it definitely if you want.
No, I don't want to make anything against this particular story, but it's more, I like the small story. And I think especially coming off the main series, it's really good to have that narrow focus of the series. And what we were talking about, what people's opinions of the Targaryens and showing the Targaryens as humans, as you guys were saying, I thought that was depicted really well in the show too, to show like the next step of people being anti-Targaryens as the dragons are starting to disappear.
One thing I'll say bad about Dunk and Egg was there's too much feces.
Yeah, that was disgusting. I don't need to see that ever.
Yeah, there's I understand what you. So this is the thing, and I think this is what problem with shows have. I understand what you trying to convey, that the gutter butt motherfuckers sleeping outside, and this is what happens. I'd rather assume it than have to see it. Like I understand they're sleeping, their heads nice, they're sleeping outside. They're shitting outside, right? They're pissing outside. I know that. Like, I don't need to be shown it to know that. You know what I mean? And I think that maybe you're going for You're going for a childish whoopee cushion joke, right?
Mhm.
You're going for a fart joke, which they did literally. Phil's friend did it.
Yeah, literally.
And like I'm too old for whoopee cushion jokes. Like that doesn't work. You know, if I was 10, you would have got me. But as a grown ass man, like I'm not into those things like that. You know, I don't need to see anything pop off like that, literally. So that's the only problem I had with it. Was when they did things like that. It took me out of it. It's this fine line they were trying to work, right? It's a fine line. You want to be, they're trying to do some type of humor, but they're trying to be serious at the same time. That's a very fine line to be there. And I thought that at most times they walked it well, but at times like that, it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I agree. Even a couple more duty jokes. And I think it's funny that House of the Dragon kind of put a scene of someone, spoiler alert for this season, Bridge. They put a scene of someone taking a shit in there. So I wonder if that was in response to Night of the Seven Kingdoms. So they were like, oh, let's put a little bit of playful banter between both shows.
Yeah, MICA XOXOXO says Aegon kissing poopy foot. My lord. Yeah. Having him do that was pretty disgusting. Which just shows you that guy is gonna get killed very badly. It just like this guy is not long for this earth. Like that, like when I see when they show things like that, like you just know like he ain't gonna be here much longer. Like when you get away with shit like that, like you out of here. Like you got this one upper hand, you out of here. They're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you very drastically when you die. It's not gonna be a good thing for you. And they have Tangle Tongue is in the series, Bridge. He is in there. The Tangle Tongue is in there. So you'll when you watch it, you'll see Tangle Tongue in there. I didn't know if they were gonna put him in there. He does play a good part in the books, but I still didn't know if they do him. But they did put him in there. So got it, Phil. What do you say?
I think I was just talking about duty.
Yeah, I want to layer in there. Like, so for me, I'm coming up to it with my mother in Game of Thrones. There's going to be a montage. Is that how you say it? A montage? Is that where they do like the scene, whatever, or whatever it's called. But of Samuel Tarly down the Citadel. We're coming up to that scene where he's
the poop, the poop montage.
Is it a montage? That's the word. Yeah. And it's like, listen, I can't stand the sound of chewing. I'm not near people when they're eating. I don't even personally like eating around people because I feel uncomfortable. Like if anyone's like me, then I don't want them to hear me chew. So I eat by myself. Like, so if I don't like the sound of chewing, like I don't need to see that kind of stuff ever. Like there's no need for it.
Your personal hell must be like ASMR videos. Like all that.
That's why I always have headphones on. Oh yeah, no, ASMR. Like it blows my mind that people love that stuff because I could not go anywhere near it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I can't.
I don't like people chewing with no teeth. Like I have a thing. Like if you have no teeth,
what?
You know, like people with
that's
no
oddly
teeth.
Specific.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be specific because it's the truth. You know, when you have no teeth, and you know how people have no teeth, like their lips puff out because there's no teeth to stop it, so their gums stuff.
There's a click.
So when they're fucking like, I don't like when you chewing like that and your lips is come like I can't take it. Like I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. It just doesn't look natural to me. It doesn't look good. I don't like to see it. It doesn't make me happy to see it. So I don't like it.
It's not a good time.
I don't get happy when I see that. Tim says, how do y'all feel about the theory that Daemon made up Nettles to protect Rhaena? That whoever made up that theory, I think is not good at all.
It's cope. It's coping that the show changed that. People were saying that in the after show.
She's clearly
because I haven't read the story in a while, but yeah, I was gonna say it's literally a character because you've got her down in a Dragonstone feeding the dragon, bonding with the dragon, while Rhaena's up at the Vale, if I'm not mistaken, during the same exact time period.
Yeah, I think
this is two distinct characters.
I think this is something that at least some people said it in the chat after the episode that, what would be cool, maybe what Ryan Condal's doing is he's going to have Daemon make up a person named Nettles to tell Rhaenyra to cover Rhaena, like as to make up a lie and almost as a wink to the audience. And I hope they don't do that because that'd be.
And in what way is he covering her in this theory?
Because in this situation, he can explain who rode on the show. Bridge, do you mind a spoiler from the show?
No. Say anything. I'm good.
Okay. In the show, Rhaena takes Sheep Stealer, and she
Of course.
flies into battle and causes Jace's death.
No.
Yeah.
Causes it?
Causes it. Basically causes Jason. Right, Tony? Basically causes
that they're gonna blame her. I'm saying she does. She's not responsible for it.
Yeah,
but
explain
she
this
doesn't
to
hurt
me.
it. She doesn't hurt it.
She doesn't.
How did she cause it?
Because she's out of control in the dragon, and
Dragon's out of control.
and she's
He won't
chasing
listen
him.
to her.
And earlier in the episode, Jace is flying low to the water, and someone hits him with a scorpion. Bela is able to free him, but then afterwards, Sheep Stealer enters the fight and chases him back down close to the water. And when he's closer to the water,
No, you're skipping stuff here. Sheep Stealer comes in, starts blasting everybody. She's
burning everything.
Oh, so like Sheep Stealer's going nuts?
Yeah, he's going nuts. He's blasting the Valerian.
I
He's
love Sheep
blasting
Stealer.
everybody.
That's my second favorite.
Right, so she can't control him. So he goes to hunt the dragon and kill the dragon rider. But then he sees it's her and says, "Don't hit the rider. Don't hit the rider." And then when he ducks down, that's when he gets shot with the spear. But he can't be saved that time.
Wow. This is fun. I gotta watch the show. I like these kind of edits. It's cool.
Sorry to spoil it for you, but
No, that's good. I like that. Because I was probably gonna wait till the end of the season. Now I'm definitely watching this show.
But so that's why people are saying maybe Damon will make up somebody like randomly say, "Oh, someone else was the dragon rider."
Oh, because it was her fault that he died.
Rhaenyra thinks that.
Rhaenyra doesn't know who's riding Sheep Stealer. She's like, whoever's riding Sheep Stealer, she wants dead. Yeah, whoever it is, she wants dead.
Yeah, they could go that route. As far as canon, no, they're two distinct characters.
Yeah, 100%. It's whoever made up that stuff. There's people just want to make stuff up. As you want to say, Phil, coping, if you want to say coping, or just someone just needs something to put on the internet just to say they put something on. It's clearly a character in the book. Damon's fucking her in the books. I mean, he laid up with her multiple times. He just says it's just sitting home imagining fucking this black woman. Oh, it's not doing that.
What's interesting though, I believe you and I'm with you, but I think of it as like a love story, and that's why I want to believe it, because they're at I forget what the tower's called, but it's Jonquil's tower and whatever. And when they part, because of the whole dragon bond thing, part of your soul is inside the dragon. So when they finally, I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't. Well, yeah, I don't want to say this. Never. Sorry.
I'm sorry. One last thing. Also, once Jace crash lands into the waters, the pirates hit him with 3 arrows while he's sinking in the water. It's sad.
Pull that back up again. I didn't read that.
Oh, whoops. Here we go.
Oh yeah. I mean that's maybe not. That's poor Jace.
And he slowly sinks down. Like,
do we get some? Do we get?
Phil, you want me to play the episode? He slowly sinks down. He says he mouths mom right before he goes down.
Yeah, he tried. He fucks his mom. Yeah, he fucks Rhaenyra.
Oh my god! Do we get any Sarah Snow up in Winterfell? Sarah Snow? No,
we have no, not yet. Not yet in the Winterfell.
Oh, I mean that would have been because Jace. You know how they went in excursions. Jace went the long route. He went up to Winterfell, so they did that all off screen.
They showed the Winterfell stuff is what you see when he went up there with the kid. They didn't explore any of that stuff with him up there. And which I said was a mistake, because I don't care about Jason. They should have did things like that to make you care about the guy more than when he passed away. You know, he's just really a footnote in there and everything. MITAXOXOX says, I hope Cole dies. So done with him. His first love, Rhaenyra, was like, I had you and I'm done. Be gone, Sir Christian Cole. Your song was not long. Your sword was not long. Listen, whether it was long or short, he wasn't swinging it right. He didn't swing it right enough. Mr. Strong did. Strong held it down, because that was that. She had baby after baby with Mr. Strong. You know, Cole just wasn't hitting it right. Yeah, whether he was knocking the bottom out or he wasn't hitting the bottom, the sides, he wasn't hitting nothing. He wasn't doing anything.
Plus, he's a clinger. He's like a stage 9 clinger. Like she's just got the ick. I think just after a while, she was just one and done with him. She just didn't want to,
Well, no, she said she was cool with it. She says, "Oh, we can still keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah,
I gotta marry this dude for political reasons, and he's cool with me just fucking you on the side. We can keep going." And he didn't want to take that. He said, "I'm not."
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Bridge.
No, I take back what I said earlier because I was picturing like I don't want to be second fiddle or whatever to someone, but that situation you're not even second fiddle. Like you know what I mean? In name you are, but that's it.
That's
Yeah,
it.
the kids are going to be yours. Your kid,
That
just
was
like
the
strong
perfect
kid.
situation.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah,
He would
your
have been the
kid
father.
will sit the Iron Throne.
Yeah, his kids would have been Jace, and
You know, and Strong knew that. Strong was like, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh,
Bro.
rest in
Like,
peace, no Harwin Strong.
yeah, he was like, cool. Is Aemon Helena's baby daddy?
yeah, people were asking that after the show too. How is she pregnant if Aegon's gone?
No, I would say it's Aegon's baby.
Yeah, me too. I think it's Aegon's as well.
I would say if anyone's going to be, it's going to be Aegon. She just doesn't seem like the type to sleep around like that, unless Aegon just raped her outright.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
And she's too young for Aemon. Aemon likes motherly figures more on the show.
Yeah. And Bridge will see that when he reads it.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I want Bridge.
You didn't. You did. All right.
No,
so hold it down. So
season one, he had that lady.
Yes.
At the
yeah,
and they whatever. Like he's got his thing.
And they make it a point a little bit in a earlier episode. I think with him with like an older woman or something like that too. So.
Yeah, I got to watch this show. Has it been 4 or 5?
4.
Nice.
Halfway through the season.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8 total. Yeah.
Yeah, and to your point, something you said earlier, I agree with you 100%. I also enjoyed last season, but they didn't end it with the way it should have ended. So the first 2 episodes of this season do come off a little bit like the closure of the previous season.
Is it you remember there was a chick, excuse my language. There was a woods witch who gave a prophecy in the last season.
Yes.
It would be really cool if that was like the ghost of High Heart or something like that. I don't know if she'll ever appear. Has she appeared in season 3?
Yes, she's more of a part of season. Alice Rivers, are you talking about?
I don't think that's no the Woods Witch. I mean Alice Rivers. I'm excited to see her, but that's a different character.
Yeah, she's in the show a lot. Are you not talking about the person that was talking to Damon when he was stripping?
No.
Then no,
ignore it. There was one quick scene with the Woods Witch that came up that potentially could be like Ghost of High Heart. That'd be cool.
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I remember that. I don't think they followed up on that in this season. This season has basically been it starts off initially with the Stepstones battle and it deals with a lot of like
that was episode 1, man.
And they get right the fuck to it. Oh, thank you, Julia. We appreciate it. Yeah, Eamon only likes older women. Yes, there's something that happens. I'm holding off spoiling too much. That's why I'm sort of talking around things, you know. But yeah, but
I almost spoiled some stuff from the books. Go ahead with anything that we're caught up to with the episodes for people in the chat. Like, don't hold back because of me.
I won't, but there's a few things here and there that are better for you to watch to kind of get your own read on it because I'll zap my own partial agenda. Yeah.
So Peter Griffin said we've seen some green men though. Is he referring to Children of the Forest or Reeds?
Reeds.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
What's interesting though about this is they don't do all the battles you would expect on screen. They yada some stuff off screen.
Of course. I mean, it would be nonstop battle. They would not have the money to do this show.
Yeah. And it works though for the most part. I think episode 3 was my favorite of the season so far because it kind of again narrows the focus. It's really Rhaenyra's first day on the job.
How about Daeron's dragon, Tessarion, the Blue Queen? Have we seen her?
Yes.
And how beautiful is she? Good? Is she cool?
Honestly, Bridge, I don't know what it says about me that my favorite characters on the show are the dragons, because even within Jace's death, his dragon dying was the emotional aspect of it. It wasn't Jace. It was watching like what everything that happened with the dragon had me almost in tears, you know. But
like,
it's sad.
Like Viserion, man. Like these, you really got to give a shout out to these guys, the artists, guys and girls who do the CG. Because you watch any other show, like like Witcher or things like that, and the dragons, it's like I feel like I'm watching late 90s, early 2000s dragons. Whereas Game of Thrones looks like that's an actual thing that exists in our world. They're just so good.
Yeah, and some of it's the sounds too that they put in there, dude. It's like they just like there's something about some of the sounds. There's a scene with Sheepscaler earlier in the season really early on in the season that's very, very cool. And one of my favorite dragons. So even though it isn't Nettles, there's a moment between her that I enjoy. That there's, and I think Gray said this, and the best way to view this is it's a fan fiction in some ways, but it's a fun fan fiction.
I think it definitely makes it more fun because there's like something like I watched the show His Dark Materials. It followed those books almost to a T, which is what people always clamor for, right? But in a way, it stunk because I knew like the exact lines that were happening. I knew every exact plot point that was happening. Yeah. This sheep stealer thing that you said to me, for example, I never would have envisioned that. And I don't even know if that was ever George R.R. Martin's intention. It probably was not. And that's beautiful, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Yeah, and I know people love and are attached to Fire and Blood, but the way I feel it about this particular material, the way it's written from all the different perspectives and different people remembering it, it actually opens the door for fan fiction. If I'm checking out A Night of the Seven Kingdoms and they're not following these 3 novellas beat for beat, which are perfectly kind of segmented for television, I'll be a little upset. Something like Fire and Blood opens the door for more flexibility of interpretation, and it's just some of the choices don't always agree in, but that's part of the fun of debating the choices. But Fire and Blood, it was way more open for that kind of shit than a lot of the rest of Song of Ice and Fire, because it's a history account from 3 or 4 different people that are all given different shit, so you can have something be the record or another person's perspective of it or whatever.
Yeah, George R. R. Martin is a wizard. I would not be shocked if he did that intentionally, knowing that like it would just translate to the openness of TV so well. he's a wizard.
Yeah, and there'll be another Fire and Blood book. So he's going to do the other book,
Blood and Fire.
Yeah, that's supposed to go all the way up to Robert's Rebellion.
Nice.
And stop there. So that was his plan for it. I'm sure he'll get that out before he gets Winds of Winter. So we'll have more material in between that he'll be able to make shows with and everything else. So hopefully if they use that to make shows with, because I think that stuff in between this and that could be much better than a lot of this stuff. Not that one we're seeing, but I really think they should have started Robert's Rebellion for. But you know, it would be good. What would you like, Bridget? Would you like Aegon's Conquest show? Or would you like a movie for the Conquest?
Oh, I mean, always I'm going to go show because you just get more. You know what I mean? Aegon's Conquest. You could do a movie, but it would really thin out all the characters and stuff.
You have to do multiple movies, right? It would have to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, either way, yes is my answer. That'd be sweet. I mean, so earlier I alluded to like Nettles. She's in my top 3, but like Rhaena. What was his younger sister? Aegon's younger sister was it Rhaena? No, not Rhaena. It was it Rhaenyra? It was Rhaenyra.
Yeah, it's Rhaenyra and
Rhaenys. It was Rhaenys.
Rhaenys and
she's
Visenya.
I was Visenya. I was gonna say Victorian.
That'd be awesome. He wants to ride a dragon.
It's weird. As I get older, like Visenya is probably my girl. But when I read these stories first, it was all about Rhaenys because it's just like little, and there's not much of her, but little lines about how she loved nothing more than like she loved music and stuff, but she loved nothing more than just riding a dragon. And I'm like, God, like she just loved the freedom, the skies. Like, what a woman. She's my number 1.
And why wouldn't you? I mean, this is
for real.
I just don't think A Song of Ice and Fire lays. I mean, they're going to do a movie, but I just don't think it's perfect for a movie. There's too much details. There's too much stuff that you would have to just sort of yada yada too much in a movie for the beats points, unless you just did like an action-centric movie. I could see you doing a hybrid where you have like a series lead up to a huge battle and then maybe do the huge battle as a 90-minute movie or some shit like that and then come back to the series. I don't know if that's stupid, but like doing something like that might be cool, but I wouldn't want to see the whole thing as a movie unless it was like an 8-hour movie, unless they did like you know what I mean? They did like a really long, we're talking about like Dances with Wolves kind of movie, like a Godfather, like 4-hour chunky movie.
Well,
yeah, because I mean,
like Dune, like a part.
Yeah, if they're gonna do it, if they're really gonna do it right, they need to like Song of Ice and Fire needs room to breathe. Like at least that's my opinion of it. Like that's when it's at its best. And that's what's good about early Game of Thrones from a television standpoint. Good, but like when it's good about episode 3 of this season. Good about Duncan Egg. It's like when the show has chance to breathe within the world, you care a lot more about the stakes rather than it just being like ice zombies versus this versus that. It becomes just kind of white noise to background. I don't know. That's my opinion. If you're doing a movie, I just don't want it to be too action schlock. I don't want to lose some of the heart.
Plus, Aegon's conquest, it's easy to get distracted by the conquest itself. But I think the most important thing about Aegon's conquest is why. I mean, he's a 5th or 6th generation Targaryen living at Dragonstone. He went to Old Town. He traveled up to Lannisport. Something changed that made him realize he wants to conquer the 7 kingdoms. And it probably alludes to this whole, Aegon's dream that they've done in the show or whatever, that he's got to save the realm. You got to unite the realm to save it or whatever. So you use the perfect wording. You've got to let it breathe, or else it's just going to be lost in this guy's a conqueror, when that's not really who he was. He was someone who was just most likely looking ahead with prophecy and trying to just save humanity.
Well, you have to go, if you're going to do it, you have to go before that. You have to show how the Targaryens are shitty dragon lords.
Yeah, and
right. You have to show the rise. You have to show the other dragon lord families that are above them. You got to show them getting shit on. You got to show them making fun of him for leaving. You got to show all that to build up to who he is, right? So I would think that if you did that right, that would be a full movie just to get him to Dragonstone, right? And that would just be the first movie. And then you would move into the rest of everything else like that. But you would have to really show that in order to make that effective, to show exactly how the Targaryens rose up there. Because they're shitty. They're imagine if it wasn't a Targaryens, it was some other Dragon Lord families who was really entitled and all that, and they made it over to Westeros and everything. It would have been, 10 times worse with those people, because they already felt way more entitled than they ever thought. Targaryens just rose up because they all got knocked out and everything else. People are saying if Bridge hasn't watched any of House of the Dragon, the series, it also reveals that Aegon conquers mode. No, he has watched. He just hasn't watched this one.
Yeah, these four episodes.
Yeah, he's 4 episodes behind, but he'll be caught up by next week. Because as soon as you get on the stream, he's gonna binge it.
Plus, I've spoiled pretty much everything.
I mean, even Fire and Blood in the World of Ice and Fire, they allude to that there was a reason why. I mean, George even uses some wordings like he was there. He's not only has his family been at Dragonstone 5 or 6, he's the 5th or 6th generation at Dragonstone. On top of that, the dude's 27 years old with this huge dragon. So why conquer at 27? It's because something changed. He read something in a scroll, had some sort of prophecy. So we've been speculating on that for years, but that'd be fun to find out.
I made a theory up back in the day saying it was the children of the forest, and I still go with my theory. That the children of the forest are the ones who gave Daenerys the dream of the dreams. They're the ones who used the hammer of waters to destroy all of Valyria. They did that to get him over there purposely, just because what was going on in there, what was going on when they were building Harrenhal and they were destroying all the weirwood trees from the Isle of Faces, that they needed this whole situation to go down, and they are the ones who got all this shit going. And I made that theory up 9-10 years ago. I said that shit and everything else and all that good. So yeah, Gray Area is in the building.
Yo, Gray. I read the comment before seeing it was her. That's a great comment too. Oh, that's awesome. What's up, Gray?
Thank you.
And all that. But yeah, so I think I'm still going with that. And everything.
I think there's some confirmation for that in the television series with some of George's notes, with having on the show, when you see the creature that creates the White Walkers on the show, you see it's a Children of the Forest that's stabbing him through the chest. I think that's just a little wink to their evil foundation, Tony. So I think you have a little bit of confirmation within.
Listen, I predicted that too, and the only other person who predicted it with me was Don Willie. I predicted that the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers and they lost control of them, and that's what was going on. And Don Willie was the only one who came up with the same thing. So, and then they showed it in the show, so that's what it is, and that's just the way it goes. It's funny, like back in the day when he did, I remember James Johnson, who used to rock with back in the day, he's the one who said that the Night King would be the big bag of the series. And so many people laughed. I even laughed. Like, the Night King, and because the Night King is only mentioned like really fast in the books.
Yep.
And he was like, this is about talking about 11, 12 years ago. He was like, the Night King is going to be the big bad of this series. It's going to be the Night King, blah, blah, blah. And no one believed it until they actually showed that one thing in an episode. The Night King came and touched that baby. And then everybody was like, "Oh, I knew it! I knew it!" I was the only one who knew it was James. I didn't know it. I laughed at him myself, and people used to roast that guy in the comments for that. But he had it. He had it right. He was right.
I always say, because there's an interview where because I think it's Brand 4 in A Storm of Swords where he's at the Night Fort and they're talking about the Night King, the Rat's Cook, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the Night King's a guy of legend or whatever, and the Night's Queen. But then at one of the conventions, someone asked George R. R. Martin, like, is the Night King going to show up? Is the Night King alive or dead or whatever? That's an easy question. It's a yes, no, black and white. Like, is he dead or is he alive, right? And George R. R. Martin's answer is the Night King's no more likely to be alive than Land the Clever or Brand the Broken. It's like, and people interpreted that as he's dead. When I'm like, no, if he's dead, you say he's dead. That's a very roundabout way of avoiding the answer. You know what I mean? So personally, I think that I could show up in the books.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Is that he has no choice but to show up in the books and everything. I definitely don't. And the bottom line is, listen, they paid this guy with $40-50 million for this book. He has to tell them everything. You can't just get paid that much money and keep shit to yourself.
They probably had access to all of his notes.
Yeah, they paid for the story, and that's what it is and everything else. And that's just the way it goes. So what we see, I believe, is what we're going to see in the books, just a different way, but it's going to end in exactly the same way. You know what I mean?
Well, enough times past, he might be working hard to try to change it. But I think initially it was supposed to be very simple.
I don't know if he can. I don't know if he's legally bound to have to do it this way. I don't know if they could sue him if he changed the story and changes something else. I don't know if they have, if they could do it. I don't know. It depends. I'm not in the contract, so I don't know what it is, but I don't know if he could really change it too much and stuff. I think they paid for the story.
Something's causing how many years? I don't want to get into it, but how many years has it been now? He wrote every other book in the series in as much time as it's been since the last book. So something's something else besides not being writer's block is hamstringing him from wanting to finish the series.
100%. We got Alicia is in the building rocking with us, and she says, "My sun and stars is in the building."
I love you, Alice.
Yeah. Alicia, not Alice. I know you are. Yeah, I know you. I know that.
Oh, it's great.
It's great to have you back, Bridge.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys. Off screen, you guys weren't here when Tony and I were behind the scenes. I was like, the first thing I do when I see you is like, I just want to hug you, man. I want to hug all of you. It's been a while.
Well, yeah, it has been. But listen, we're doing our con next year. Yeah, all right. Two Bass will be on next year. Bridges said he's there, no doubt about it. He'll be up in there and everything else. So we'll all get to chill and hang out with each other without a doubt next summer. Now,
we haven't been able to hug since 2019. It's about fucking time.
Yeah, Jesus, it's been that long, huh?
Yeah, no, we hung out. I think it was this summer, 2019, or it'd be like wasn't it in wasn't it? Yeah, because I was seeing all like the memory shits. I think it was like last month. However many fucking years ago that is. 7 years ago. That's
so crazy. That was 7 years ago. That's so crazy that last con was 7 years ago.
Yeah. I think it was June 7 years ago. I'm pretty sure. June or July.
It does not seem like it was that long. It seems like it was like 3 years ago or 4, but 7?
Yeah, seriously.
A decade? Jesus. Yeah. Right.
Crazy, dude.
A fucking decade ago. Oh my god, that's just fucking.
That's because there was like 3 or 4 years in there that don't seem like real years with the shutdowns and the COVID thing and stuff like that. Like everything just like from 2020 to 2023 seemed like 1 year.
Yeah, without a doubt, it did. That's just crazy. That's just crazy. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about the show before we get up out of here and stuff. If anyone has any questions, we will take your questions and everything else and all that good stuff. You know what it is. The Don Tony Teflon Philly Issues guy. Bridge 4, we are the usual suspects in the building, rocking with you before House of the Dragon. And Bridge will be back. Don't worry. This is not the last you ever see Bridge. I promise you that. But Bridge will be back and everything else. So we're going to rock with Gray and Alicia. We'll do our whole thing and everything else and all that good stuff. We'll get everything popping and everything else like that. I promise you. And all that good stuff. Phil, do you give a rating to this episode before you? What did you think about this one over the other ones?
Episode 4. Let me think. I want to preface what my rating system is because a lot of people get weird. I think when I say a 5, I'm not going to call this episode a 5. It was higher than a 5. But if I say something's a 5, I mean it's an average episode. I don't mean 5 is shitty. You know, like, so like
Well, 5 is average.
5 is average. 5 is I know, but some people vote on the or rank on like the grading scale, like a you know, like a 70. 7 is a C. Like for me, a 7 is like a really good episode. You know, like 9 and 10s are fucking like, you know, like
Yeah.
I reserve that for serious shit. I give episode 3 of this season, I think like an 8. I give episode 4 a 6. I think it was like a 6, a little bit above average.
I give it a 7. I'd say it's a 7 episode. You know, it's setting up the rest of the stuff and everything else. You know, would you consider doing pre-games? I was gonna do it this week, and I got caught up in the hustle, so I wasn't able to do it. But I'll do it this week. I will do the pre-game this week. I was gonna do it last week, but I just got caught up in stuff and I wasn't able. But I'll get it done. I promise you. Yeah, we'll do the pre-game show before we'll get that pop and everything else. How does Bridge feel about the cancellation of the Wheel of Time?
I'll keep it short since most people in this chat don't really care. But I mean, that's one of my favorite stories of all time. So it broke my heart. I loved it. And yeah, people, even book readers, they didn't like it because it's so different. It's like that series, you can see it in the back. See that top shelf there? Yeah, see that top shelf on my bookshelf? That entire shelf is the Wheel of Time. It's huge. It's I forget 15 or 16 books. You cannot make a show out of it. You have to condense it. And so yeah, I'm heartbroken.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. Now the Wheel of Time. They canceled a lot of shows. Wheel of Time, I thought was hitting its stride too. You know,
yeah, it was like getting better. It was.
And I just think they don't give shows enough time anymore to develop.
Yeah, if they don't become crazy raves and people are saying it's the greatest thing of all time, they're like, yeah, you know, they don't give shows to breathe. It's like back in the day, if The Wire came out now, it would have lasted a half a season.
Yeah, if you don't win an award or get views, you're not staying on the air.
Well, that's what it is. I mean, if you go back into time to when the Wheel of Time was first announced, I mean, like Game of Thrones was huge, right? So then Amazon picks up Lord of the Rings, which is a monstrous franchise, whatever you call that brand, whatever, and also the Wheel of Time. Now, the Wheel of Time's under the radar for a lot of people. They haven't heard about it, but it's monstrous. It sold something like 90 million copies of its books. It is a huge. So they were probably expecting to go Game of Thrones big, and they didn't. And because of that, they gave up on it, which kind of sucks.
The Game of Thrones fandom is like no other fandom that I've seen. You know, it's a different fandom for that. You know, the Wheel of Time fandom's not like the Game of Thrones fandom, but no fandom is like that. You know what I mean? So to expect the same thing, I understand what Amazon is like. Oh, we're buying the next Game of Thrones,
exactly,
and everything. You know what I mean? But
the only comparable things are like Star Trek and Star Wars. Like those are legendary, multi-generational sort of things that have existed forever. It's like that's what Game of Thrones targeted. And also you got to figure, just from a television average viewer standpoint, not the people that naturally like fantasy, when the end of Game of Thrones didn't hit the way a lot of people liked, that sours them to a lot of natural fantasy of just being like, okay, I'm out. I'm not gonna get invested in another show like this. It's like the Lost crowd with mystery box shows and bringing a lot of that energy to other shows that from the first one that's really been able to hit off since that, because a lot of people like just immediately hate on the mystery box kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know what I mean? That the Game of Thrones hurt it.
It definitely didn't help. It definitely didn't help.
Yeah, and they had the other show with Orlando Bloom with the fairies and everything else. They had that. They thought that was going to take off, and that didn't take off.
Yeah, I forgot about that show.
You know, and that didn't take off either. I thought that show was good too. I didn't think anything was wrong with that show. I thought you got to give a chance to breathe. But I forgot the name. What the hell was the name of that show? I can't even remember the name of that show. I know I covered it. Alicia said Carnival Row. Yeah, Carnival Row.
I listened to a prequel book. I think it was maybe a novella. It was short, if I recall correctly. But I was trying to get into that, and then they just canceled it.
Yeah, they got rid of it too quick.
Oh, you know what's great? Anyone who has Audible, there's something called it's called Seasons, and it's because they have like 8 or 10 episodes, or whatever, and they're basically like chapters. And don't get me wrong, it's not as nearly as in depth of writing as like A Song of Ice and Fire or something like that. But with Audible, it's got like a full cast audio. So it's got like Davos Seaworth, he's one of the voice actors. Liana Mormont's one of the actresses. And then they've got sound effects. It's called Winter Impact. And I believe it is going to come to TV or movie or something like that. But just for an audible listening experience, any fantasy fans, like, it is good. It's about vampires, basically, but it's awesome. Winter Impact.
Winter Impact. Go check that out and everything else. All right, we're gonna get up out of here, people. We've been out here almost 2 hours. We love you all. We'll be back. Pre-game show will be back on Sunday and everything else. We'll get the gang back together and everything else. Get our ladies up in here and all that good stuff and everything. Bridge got all the women here.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's why he's Kaiser.
That's my dudes.
We'll be back, man. Appreciate you all for coming and rocking with us and everything else. Oh, before we do that, what am I doing? I'm not doing this right. Let me get this thing the way it's supposed to be. All right, and if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course subscribe. And until next time, you know what it is. Peace and stay sexy.
So, like, if Acosta had to create her perfect man, like an avatar, this